topic being funding, what the professor laid out is one of those ideas that I think that we ought to look at. I was asked, is there anything that's off the table in any of your hearings? And the answer is no. But I think we also need to deal with a couple of realities, some political issues that are out there. One being, look at the size of the group of the people that are here today. And Senator Nichols, myself, the professor are going to be speaking to the White. There's a meeting going on somewhere else, somewhere in some hotel, and they're discussing an issue that's a lot more of a higher priority than transportation. And we have all these competing interests. This next session, we are already being told behind the scenes that it's going to be one of the toughest budgetary sessions that we've seen possibly even since 2003. We also have another political game that we must participate in this next coming session, redistricting. And redistricting is when the zealots of both parties come out and they make Senator Nichols and I toe the line and fight for that little bit of ground so that whoever's in power can remain in power. Those who are trying to get into power, moving up to move forward, and that's going to be a real distraction. No money. And some of the things that we want to propose are simple in concept. Let's end the diversions. We take in this 20 cents, it's actually 15 cents because 5 does go to public education. And then we divert some of it off to the Department of Public Safety. But if you and I were sitting at a meeting at the Department of Public Safety, they wonder why so much of their funds are being diverted over to TxDOT. Because the Constitution says those monies that are going to DPS and to TxDOT are both constitutionally authorized. So we have to deal with that issue. So let's end the diversions. I'm all for it. And I've heard that come from all different sources. But what it tells those budgeteers in this last session, not a single diversion bill, and we passed them out early, made it through the system, because when you say end diversions, you're telling the budgeteers on the Fund 6 highway side, you've got to find $1.2 billion in additional general revenue. So that means right off the bat, we're asking you to go raise fees or cut something else. So that's going to be something that preoccupies our time. And with a real tough budget, it's like everybody who asks, all prayers are answered. Those of you who believe in the higher being, just sometimes the answer is what? No. So this session, I need somebody, no. And by the way, I hate you. Because it's redistricted. I used to like Robert Nichols. But come the second Tuesday of January, when Robert says, hey, Pickett, you still have some influence on that appropriations committee? No. And I hate you. So, Robert, how would you like to work on me with finding some funding solutions for TxDOT? Joe? No. I hate you. And that really will be something that is a cloud. But there will be a group of people like Senator Nichols. In fact, Senator Nichols and I came to a meeting of the minds during the process of some funding formulas. And to TxDOT's credit, TxDOT's trying to get out there ahead of the curve. It took the conference committee report on the Sunset Bill that did not pass and is using it as a working outline document to try and make an attempt to offer to that body of 5 that governs that agency to look at some changes that they can by rule prior to a session meeting. And this group that's there, one of them is Judge Emmett from Harris County. The judge is here, you know the judge, would you please tell him I did show up in a tie today. And what this group is attempting, one of the members who's working very much in earnest said, well, is the legislature going to really, then come back in a year or whatever it's from now and change a lot of stuff? Yes. But that shouldn't keep you from trying to work as hard as possible as doing those kind of things. So we're going to have the no and I hate you is what's going to set the stage. We're going to have other priorities. We're going to have people who don't necessarily understand some of the system, including our colleagues. This is one of the few state agencies that has the ability to carry forward the dollars that they didn't spend and contract into the future. We're so used to drumming into our colleagues that you have this 2-year period. You give so much money to the Parks and Wildlife, if they don't spend it, they lose it, and they have to start from scratch. That doesn't apply to the Texas Department of Transportation. It doesn't apply. So we need to broaden the education basis, and I'm real big on this. I don't allow the staff at our MPO meetings to say TIP, STP, MTP. We don't do that. What does that acronym stand for? At least say the entire words. It doesn't give a full explanation, but it helps with that education process, so we need to educate. That's going to be a big point in this next session. I also know some of the realities, and some of you take this as pessimism or negativity. My kids are hungry. We open up the pantry, we got marshmallows, potato chips, some Spam somebody gave me as a joke in one of those Christmas baskets. That's all we got. So we're going to eat those marshmallows, we're going to eat those potato chips, and I'm going to eat the Spam. And then they're hungry later. It's still going to be whatever is in that pantry at that time. We are going to be hard-pressed to do anything different than what's already in the pantry. There are people running for office right now that got settled a few days ago. They're going to take these positions of I can't vote for any tax increase. I'll go on the record and have gone